How to make money with banks. Looking to learn how to make money with banks? Well, you're in the right place. In this video, we're going to dive deep into the world of financial opportunities and show you various strategies for making money through banking institutions. Join us as we explore the ins and outs of maximizing your financial potential with banks. Discover the secrets to grow your wealth and secure your financial future. Don't miss out on this valuable information. Watch now and start your journey to financial success. Have you ever wondered if there's more to our money and banking system than meets the eye? Well, listen to this powerful quote from Andrew Jackson. If the people only understood the rank injustice of our money and banking system, there would be a revolution by morning. This quote, uttered long before the Federal Reserve was established, raises important questions about the current banking system. Over the years, the system has undergone dramatic changes, and some argue that it now disproportionately benefits the wealthy. The issue lies in the fact that most people don't fully comprehend how this system operates. They're in the dark about how money is created and how the Federal Reserve functions. Imagine if you could gain a deeper understanding of this complex system. Think about the potential for financial empowerment if you knew what the banks don't want you to know. In the words of Henry Ford, it is well enough that people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning. If you're ready to uncover the secrets that banks may be hiding, and if you want to equip yourself with the knowledge that can help you navigate and even profit from the system, then give this video a thumbs up. It's time to dive deep into the world of finance and discover what you need to know for a more financially secure future. Number 5. Hidden truth about money. Imagine living in a world where the money you use is a bit like borrowing a pen from a friend. Every dollar you spend is actually borrowed from somewhere, just like that pen. So why do we use this borrowed money as our currency? Well, it's because we all agree to trust this system. But the interesting part is that most of us don't really know where this money comes from or how it's made. You know, those pieces of paper with numbers and pictures that we call money, they don't just magically appear. Someone has to make them. But it's not the government as you might think. Even the government borrows money just like you and me, and they owe quite a bit. Now, when the government needs money for things like building schools, hospitals, and bridges, they don't print it themselves. Instead, they borrow it from a place called the Federal Reserve. But here's the tricky part. The Federal Reserve creates that money almost out of thin air, essentially using ink and paper. Then the government uses that money for important things. Now, people who get paid by the government put their money in a bank, but the bank doesn't just keep all that money locked away in a vault. No, banks are more like lending machines. They take the money people deposit and lend most of it to others. However, they do keep a little on hand just in case you want to withdraw some of your money. For instance, let's say you deposit $100 in the bank. The bank might lend out $90 to someone else, but here's the surprising part. They still say that you have $100 in your account. It's almost like magic. This process repeats, and that $100 can potentially grow into a lot more, perhaps even $1,000 or more. But here's the twist. Most of this money exists only as digital numbers in a computer. It doesn't actually exist in paper form. It's like a digital score. Now here's the really interesting part. The money that was initially created is given as a loan to banks and governments, so they have to repay more money than what originally existed in the system. It's a bit like borrowing $10 from a friend but having to pay back $11. Where would you find an extra $1 if only $10 was ever created? It's a puzzle. In short, our money system relies on trust and isn't really backed by something physical like gold or land. That's why some people suggest it's a smart idea to invest your money in things like stocks, gold, or real estate because they have tangible value. So even though money might seem simple, it's actually a rather complex system. Now we have a better understanding of how it all fits together. Number 4, the birth of the Federal Reserve. To find out who has the Federal Reserve, we need to go back to the early 1900s. Back then, the United States was facing some tough times. The Civil War had left the country in a mess, and things were pretty crazy in the world of money and banks. Unlike some other countries in Europe, the US didn't have a big, powerful bank to help when financial things went wrong. Think of it like not having a superhero to save the day when there's trouble. Around 1906, something happened involving a famous banker who tried to mess with the value of a company called United Copper. But his plan didn't work, and it made this company go out of business. That's like a big popular store suddenly closing, and it caused a huge problem. So, the people on Wall Street, where a lot of important money stuff happens, turned to a guy named J.P. Morgan for help. He was super rich and powerful. JP Morgan and some other rich bankers decided to use their own money to save the struggling banks. They did this to stop a big crisis from getting even worse. This whole situation made everyone realize that the United States needed a special bank to help handle these kinds of money problems. That's when they thought about creating the Federal Reserve, which happened in 1913. Who owns the Federal Reserve? Now, let's talk about who owns the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve isn't just one big bank, it's actually made up of 12 banks spread all over the country. Each of these banks has to keep some money in a regional reserve bank, kind of like a piggy bank. In return for doing that, they get shares in that reserve bank. So it might sound a bit strange, but in a way, the Federal Reserve is owned by these other banks across the country. This might seem like a system that's not entirely fair because the big banks have a lot of say over the dollar, which is our country's money. But here's something interesting. Many of these big banks are public companies. That means regular people like you and me can actually become sort of owners for the Federal Reserve indirectly. How? Well, you can buy stocks in these big banks. When you do that, you become part owner of the bank. And since the bank owns part of the Federal Reserve, you indirectly own a tiny piece of the Federal Reserve too. So, in a nutshell, the Federal Reserve was made to help deal with money problems, and it's kind of owned by a bunch of big banks, some of which are owned by regular people like us through the stock market. It's like a big puzzle where different pieces come together to keep our money system working. Hey, before we continue, we want you to know that we're always making new content, so make sure you like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss anything. Number 3, banks are all about making money. Lots of people don't realize that banks are not mainly interested in helping you out. Nope, their main deal is making money because they've got shareholders to answer to. So sometimes the stuff they push might be better for them than for you. Sure, there might be times when what they offer works for you too, but it's smart to be careful. Bank workers get a lot of training to get you to buy their stuff, so don't rush into things just because they're super friendly. Could end up costing you a bunch. Take a breath, do your own thinking, and compare what different banks have to offer. Number 2, banking and wealth. Banks should mainly help people who have extra money to share it with those who need it, but today's banking system has changed. People who only have enough money for their regular expenses aren't seen as important customers because they don't make much money for the bank. On the other hand, super rich people get special treatment and better deals from banks because the banks want to keep their large deposits or business accounts. You can see this difference in interest rates banks offer to super rich clients, which are much lower than what regular people get. Hey there, before we reveal the top one on this list, make sure to tap that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. This way you won't miss out on our newest videos. You can decide if you want notifications for just a few videos or all of them. It's your choice, and if you're using your phone, don't forget to enable notifications in your settings. Number 1, the role of banks in managing money. Many people get disappointed with the low interest rates banks offer nowadays, but it's important to understand that banks have changed. In the past, they used to make a lot of money from lending, but today, money itself doesn't have much value, so traditional investments aren't as profitable. Instead of thinking of banks as places to invest your money, think of them as tools to help you manage your finances. If you still want to keep your money in a bank, you could think about buying some of their stocks. For example, Goldman Sachs gives you a 2.1% dividend rate, which is better than what you get from regular fixed deposit rates. And when you invest in bank stocks, you become a part owner of the bank. Thank you for joining us in this fascinating journey into the world of money, banking, and financial opportunities. We've uncovered some intriguing secrets about how money is created, who owns the Federal Reserve, and the true nature of banks. Do you think the way our money system works is fair, where some people can profit more from it than others? What would you do to make it more equitable? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to hit that like button if you found this video helpful, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on our latest content. And for more resources and links related to today's topics, be sure to check out the description below. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to reading your comments and engaging with you in the next video.